Good evening and welcome to another episode of Crypto Society's live market overview. I am PumpeyeTheTraderMan and I'm joined by Bilo the former bear. How you doing, Bilo?
Hey everybody, hope everybody's doing fine. Hope everybody's enjoying the pump. We're going to start off with a market overview of Bitcoin from its conception to where we are today. So in trading, one of the formulas that are used often are Elliott Wave theory formulations. Elliott Wave theory, I just have a little preparation from last time, is essentially a 5-wave cycle, 1, and then a correction to 2, 3, and a correction to 4, 5, and then what's called an ABC. What's interesting and what's important to know is that in each one of the impulse waves, the non-corrective waves, there are 5 waves, and then in each correction, there are 3 waves, an ABC. On the simplest level, it gets more complicated with the corrections, but for now, in order for me to explain to you our Bitcoin projection, I just wanted you guys to understand that Bitcoin or any stock or crypto moves in these cycles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Now, since 1 also has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in it, and then 2 is an ABC, you can also understand that this larger cycle is essentially 1, is essentially also a big 1, followed by a 2. And this goes on forever and ever and ever. So inside of each cycle, there's another cycle, and you can go down to 1 second and you can take it up to a week. Okay, but essentially that's how markets work. No matter what the whatever it is you're trading, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's Apple stocks, whether it's anything, that's how they work. And then there's a whole bunch of rules, maybe like 50 pages of rules that guide you on what's, the wave, what's coming up next, what's invalidation. The rules are very complicated and we're not going to get into them. We don't know them inside out. We just wanted to show you how Elliott Waves, essentially how it works. So back to Bitcoin. If we start at the beginning, we have 1 being the all-time high from 2017. 2 is, the low from 2019. And then inside, remember guys, we said that inside each impulse wave, there are 5 waves. So we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inside of wave 3 is the all-time high from April of this year. Wave 4 is the low where everybody thought we were going back to 2015, whatever it was. And now we're inside of wave 5, okay? Now, inside of wave 5, because wave 5 is an impulse wave, there are 5 waves, right? So these are the 5 waves we're interested in looking at right now to see how far is Bitcoin going to go. So as per the projection we have here, there are certain, guidances that you can use in order to project. If this was wave 1 of wave 5, and we know this is wave 2 because we've gone and then gone above wave 1. So the minute you go above wave 1, I'll draw an extra line here just so you guys can kind of visualize it. The minute we go above this line, we've actually confirmed wave 2. Okay. So long as we don't come back below this line, we can confirm that this is wave 2 and continues to be wave 2. Then there's wave 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So right now, if we understand that we're in grand cycle wave 5, wave 1 of wave 5 is done, wave 2 of wave 5 is done, we're looking to project wave 3 of wave 5, okay? So if I get rid of all these Fibonacci levels and I do a Fibonacci extension from wave 1 to 2, you'll notice that my target is 1.618. And I'll try to make this a bit clearer so you guys can see it in case you don't. Okay, here it is. You'll notice that my target for wave 3 is at or around 1.618. Why is it at or around? It's because right now we're trading on a trading view chart from Coinbase. If I change this to Binance or Qcoin or Bitfinex, these numbers are going to vary, right? Because they're never exactly the same. They're close. There's arbitrage bots that make sure that Bitcoin is pretty much the same price a bit everywhere. But then there's these wicks that happen, and these wicks are the bots, okay? in order to keep everybody on the same playing level and the same playing field. Actually, if you've been in Bitcoin for a long time, you'll know that back in 2012, 14, 15, I think up until 15 or 16, you could buy Bitcoin in one exchange, send it over to another, and make money, even though it took hours for Bitcoin to transfer from one exchange to the other. There was no arbitrage bots. Now they're there. It's very rare that you'll find a difference in price between one exchange and another. And the only way to profit from these differences is if by chance something went wrong on one exchange where there was a liquidation, a major liquidation, and then you have like a quick spike. If you happen to have a buy order within the spike, you could get lucky and end up buying some very cheap Bitcoin. It happens very rarely, but it does happen. Anyway, so this is Elliott Wave theory tells us that the ideal target for wave 3 is 1.618 extension of waves 1 and 2. Okay. And then wave 4 retraces to about previous wave 3. And wave 5, if wave 3 ends around 1.618, extends up to somewhere in the middle between 2 and 2.618. This gives us a target of about 98,000. This is our target for Bitcoin this year, guys. We're not talking about in a year to two. We're talking about this year. We're very bullish, and we'll get into the reasons why we're continuing to be bullish. Just the chart itself is bullish. The fact that we are working within the cycle, we still have no reason, zero reason there's no reason on the chart to say the Elliott waves that we see here have been invalidated in any way. There's other reasons we'll get into, but for now, it's suffice to say that the Elliott wave count that you see here is not invalidated. And that's a big word in Elliott wave theory, because in Elliott wave theory, you have option A, B, and C, and D, and E, and F for what the waves can do, especially when you're in a correction. There's a multiple different options for a correction. When you're in an impulse wave, which we are in an impulse wave here, this is clearly impulse wave 1. This is a correction. We're clearly in an impulse wave. It's a lot easier to project. Corrections are a lot harder to project because you have literally over 15 different options of how something can correct. It could be a simple, whoever's speaking, please mute yourself. It could be a simple ABC. It could be what's called a flat. It could be a running flat. It could be a triple combination. I can show you examples later, but for now, what's important is we definitely are in an impulse wave. This impulse wave 3 is subwave 3 of wave 5. And just like before, guys, I explained, each impulse wave has 5 waves inside. So technically, we can dive deeper. Now we're on the weekly. If I go into, let's say, the daily, and we just focus on this wave, 3 of wave 5, okay? In here, now we're in wave 3 of 5, right? I can go and figure out that, okay, in here I have maybe, I have 5 waves. Okay, I haven't analyzed it that far, but it could be this is wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3, this is wave 4, and that's going to be wave 5, for example. Okay, I need to analyze it further, but it's just to show you that inside of each impulse wave, there are another 5 waves. Okay, so far, again, I repeat, there is no reason whatsoever to believe that the wave count is invalid so far. Okay, something else, just for fun, is what we see here is an inverse head and shoulders in the making, right? So this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and here we have the right shoulder. Okay, once we reach that level and we break up above it, the target of the inverse head and shoulders is going to be, let's call it somewhere here, is going to be, look at that, guys, exactly the target that I called for earlier, being the all-time high for wave 5 this year before we have an ABC correction. Okay, so a lot of confluence on the chart, a lot of bullishness on the chart. The reason I'm also extremely bullish on Bitcoin is you've maybe heard of on-chain analysis. If you haven't, I'll give you a very brief introduction to on-chain analysis. So on-chain analysis is a tool that allows us to see what's happening on chain. So who's, what's going on with Bitcoin. Is it flowing onto exchanges? Just in its most simplest form. We're just going to look at the most simplest on-chain analysis tool. There are so many. We can get into very complicated, very technical on-chain analysis. We're just going to take the simple stuff. The simple stuff is, as the price of Bitcoin moves, what's happening, the blue line, what's happening with reserves. Reserves are simply the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges. If the reserves go down, it means Bitcoin is leaving exchanges. If the reserves go up, it means Bitcoin is available on exchanges for sale. Now, common held belief is if Bitcoin is available for exchanges on sale, if Bitcoin is flowing onto exchanges, Bitcoin is going to drop. Now, it happens, but you could also understand that Bitcoin can flow onto exchanges for many reasons. One reason could be that the people that are, putting Bitcoin on the exchanges are uncertain, and they want to make sure that if there's a dump, they can sell. So it doesn't necessarily mean a dump is coming, right? Because if they're in cold storage in hard wallets, they can't sell them. They have to be on an exchange to sell. So they'll transfer their Bitcoin onto an exchange because there's a fear that there might be a dump. They're not sure, and they want to be able to react quickly. The second reason may be that they want a longer short. They want to be in futures. So you don't need USDT to be in futures. You could put Bitcoin on an exchange and use it to long Bitcoin. It's not only USDT that flows onto an exchange for longing. You could use perpetual futures on BTC, meaning you can long with Bitcoin. But obviously the most feared reason, and the reason most people look at is, Bitcoin's going onto an exchange, it's about to dump. So just keep in mind, it's not the only reason Bitcoin goes onto an exchange. However, the only reason Bitcoin leaves an exchange, the only reason you can come up with is people, and these are not small people that we see here with the exchange reserves. It's big wallets. Now, it takes into account everybody's wallets, but if people like you and me are, moving Bitcoin off of an exchange, you're not really going to see much of a difference in the chart. But when whales, institutions, big wallets start moving Bitcoin off exchanges, you'll start to see that this chart gets affected. So why is that important? Because if Bitcoin is not on exchanges, if it's leaving exchanges, it's not available for sale. It's really that simple. There is no other possibility. It's just not available for sale. Whether they made a mistake by removing it, whether, I don't know, they removed it to make people think everything's okay, they're going to put it back. That's maybe it's a possibility. But with the information we have, as the price of Bitcoin is going up, the amount of Bitcoin available for sale is going down. Okay, that is extremely bullish, guys. Maybe a month ago, we noted here on this live market overview something that was very unusual, and these charts can really help us to get an insight into what's going on in the market. We noted that as the price of Bitcoin was going down, so Bitcoin was at around 52,000 and it went all the way to 41,000 in a pretty, relatively quick amount of time. But as that was going on, look what happened to the reserves. The reserves were dropping. This was very, very unusual, because usually as Bitcoin is dumping, people are putting their Bitcoin on an exchange to sell it, not removing it from an exchange. So what that told us at the time, and we mentioned it during this weekly meeting, is enough people with the power to move markets, the whales, the institutions, felt even though it's dumping, it's temporary and it's going to go back up, or else they would not have been removing their Bitcoin. And as you see, it did go back up right here. And what happened is they continued to remove Bitcoin off of exchanges. This is, extremely bullish. I can't emphasize enough how bullish this is. Okay. Now, of course, tomorrow it could come back on the exchange, right? But for now, I'm not sure who's doing this.
Interesting. So apologize.
Yeah.
For whoever is doing this, but if you could please remove the drawings as we're live on YouTube, that would be amazing. Thank you.
I think we can erase it, Pumpy. Let me just see. There we go. Guys, we're trying very hard to bring you, valuable content. We prepare for these meetings. We're trying to educate. We're trying to help. We're also giving you access to a Zoom meeting so that you can interact and ask questions. And we're trying to make this interactive and fun. So please respect the time that we're putting in and let us do what we're trying to do. And if you have questions, please ask, but kindly don't do stuff like that.
Thank you.
So I've explained to you several reasons why we're bullish on Bitcoin, this being also a big one. Going back to the chart, I'll just go to another chart right now. And here we go. So this chart here, it's essentially the same chart, okay? It's just that sometimes I have a lot of lines and it's just gets confusing for me. I wanted to just show you one thing, and this is not, the most important number in the world, but it's something to keep in mind. So why doesn't it show up though? Here's there. Okay. So if we go to the weekly chart, and I'm going to zoom out because we don't really need to see the details, just need to see what's happening right now. Okay. And by the way, guys, October, in terms of price, was a historical month for Bitcoin close in terms of dollar value. Okay. So just that in itself also was extremely bullish. So what I wanted to show you is this 7-day moving average, exponential moving average on the weekly, okay? And you'll see here, it's something that Bitcoin generally hugs very closely. If you go back on the weekly chart, it hugs it very, very closely, okay? And once we break above it, we typically stay above it for a while. Once we break below it, we stay below it for a while. But we really kind of follow this line, right? It doesn't deviate too much from this line. You see here in the April, May dump, we stayed below it. Finally, we broke above it. This is the correction. And then I just want to show you how far above it we are right now. I mean, it doesn't look far on the chart, but we're $57,000 to 63,000. So we have this right now as a very, very, very important support. And it also happens to coincide with this very busy area here, which also acts as support. So we have significant support below where we are right now on Bitcoin. Okay, so again, very, very bullish. A lot of reasons to believe that this is going to continue on up and reach those targets. We've been saying it for a while. Others, a lot of YouTube, Twitter, crypto Twitter, around these zones here, we're calling for 15, 20. We had our reasons. You can go back and watch the videos. I can get into them again. But we had our reasons to call the bottom, and we did call the bottom, and now we're calling this as a local top. A correction will happen after this wave is over, okay? This wave 5 of 5, okay? This was grand wave cycle 3, 4, 5 of 5. This is the most zoomed out cycle of Bitcoin since its conception. So the correction is going to happen around this this zone here. Doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to fall 50%. But just keep in mind, this is where we are expecting the correction to take place. At least I am. I don't want to speak for everybody. Okay. So that's as far as Bitcoin goes. And something that I loved to see, and I feel sorry for those that got liquidated, is this candle here. Okay. This usually happens before a move to the upside. Okay. So just kind of go back a little bit. Last week, the week before, it's been a while, we've identified this potential inverse head and shoulders. Okay. It completed yesterday. We went above it. Very normal to come back and test the neckline and usually go back up. This wick liquidated a shitload of people. I didn't check, but I'm sure. This usually happens right before an explosive move to the upside. Okay. So I'm expecting, because of the shape of this candle, because of the long shadow at the bottom of this candle, this wick, there's going to be a strong impulsive move to the upside. Okay. That's about it when it comes to Bitcoin. If anybody has questions on Bitcoin, now's the time to ask, or we can move on to other things. So feel free, please, to ask any questions if you have them.
Bilo, can you have a look at that as a daily as well, please, for that particular candle? Because obviously that's during the same day, and it's actually quite a big candle, isn't it?
Yeah.
60,000 up to over 60,
Here it is.
63.
Here it is.
Because I saw that earlier when I was looking at the daily chart, and I thought that's a pretty good signal that tomorrow is probably going to be very bullish. When I saw that we were dropping this morning, I thought it was a little bit bizarre because we'd got to that line of support and resistance that you've drawn in, and I actually thought that we were going to retest that, and then tomorrow would be pretty bullish. But actually, even though we've dropped down below it, it's possibly even more bullish because it's been bought up so quickly, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Very nice.
All right. We'll move on to Ethereum very quickly. Ethereum's done very, very nicely. Don't want to be, negative. It's doing very nice, but we need to keep our eyes on this bearish wedge. Now, guys, again, okay, TA is never, the lines don't always have to line up perfectly. Okay, like you see here, we went below, went back up. This is still a bearish wedge, no matter how you look at it, because you have a lot of points of contact on this line here. So you take that as the support line more than anything else, okay? And the fact that we dropped below and wick back up above it, this is the support line. So we're getting into a squeeze position here. Usually, once you get into a squeeze position on a rising wedge, usually a correction to the downside is what follows. The other thing to keep in mind and to see it, and to me, it's clear. Should I be on a 4-hour chart? Hold on, let me just see. No, the weekly maybe. No, the daily was the right chart. Okay. The other thing to notice here, guys, is as Ethereum is making higher highs, why does it show like this though? Hold on. Let me just.
Now, Bilo, I have a question.
Yeah. Sure.
As you have shown that we've dropped below that line at the bottom, the support line at the bottom on the price action.
Yes.
Doesn't that mean that perhaps it could be seen that we are moving upwards in a channel, as instead of potentially, as you've said, we're moving upstairs up in a bearish wedge? That we could
sure.
be moving up in a
Normally,
channel,
if I would need,
sure, you could not include that wick at the top in the same way.
Sure. So let's say I do it this way. It's still a bearish wedge. It's just it can go further before it becomes a bearish wedge.
Oh no.
This,
I mean if you don't include that top wick, if you were to bring the left hand point of the line, if you were to bring that down
here,
this
one.
If you don't include that wick, so if you bring the left hand point of your top line of resistance down so that it would meet the price action towards the bottom instead, and then move your right.
And then like that.
Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah,
like this, you mean?
Further down, so that you're not including the wick on that candle. That's the only one that's really pushing it down.
But then it's still. Excuse. It's
right.
still.
You're not quite seeing what I'm saying. Maybe I'm just not explaining it very well.
No.
So down at the bottom, you've kind of got a bit of an M, haven't you? At the beginning of this, if you were to bring the left-hand point of the other one down to meet the first point of the
this
M.
Here?
Yep.
Like so?
Yeah.
And then do the. I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
You're saying
kind of traveling. We're kind of traveling in a channel. Sorry, if you don't.
Then do I ignore
that?
Sure, but do I ignore this?
That was what I was saying. If you ignore that top wick, then this could be seen as not necessarily a bearish wedge per se, but actually that we are traveling upwards in a channel, which is very similar to what we were doing, I think, on Bitcoin about a week ago, potentially.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
it's a good point. Okay, the thing is that if you look at the reason I don't think it's a channel is also because you need to look at the oscillator. Look at this, Pumpy. Okay, that's what I was trying to show you.
There's definitely some bearish divergence there.
So because of the bearish divergence, to me, it's really more of a wedge because something's about to give. That's more the reasoning, okay? And I'm not saying it is going to happen because even with my scenario from before, let me just go back. I'll just go back to what I had, and I just wanted to say this before I move on. So even if it's this, was it this? No, I think it was.
No, that's about right.
This? Yeah. Okay. So even if it's this, okay, it doesn't mean that it's going to break down, guys, right? So even, you know, I have obvious bearish divergence. It's right here. Okay. It's clear. Okay. Now, even if it was that, it doesn't really say that it's definitely going down. It's something to keep eyes on. And that's what I said. Just keep your eyes on it because we could easily see this, for example, let's say somewhere here, and then we can come back down. And now what happened is that now we're in a channel. Okay. See, now we're closer to a channel and I can adjust things in a way or whatever. But what's important when you're in a place where you have two previous contacts, 1, 2, you're approaching the third one, it's a point where there's uncertainty. You're not the only one looking at this. And guys, trading and all these signals and Fibonacci and RSI and bearish wedge, there's no magic in it. It's not that when something happens on the chart, something magically dumps. It's just that if everybody agrees that once you see this formation and once you see divergences on RSI or MFI or whatever, if most traders use those signals to say, oops, we might be at a top, let's slow down the buying, or at the very least, let's slow down the buying or let's short or whatever, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this is what's happening. And you see the weakness here. Look at the volume. Okay, as we're going up, we'll go back to the daily. Okay, we're going up, but look at this candle here. The volume is pretty low relative to this candle. So from here to here, we have more volume than we do from here to here. When you're making higher highs, you want to see higher volume, not lower volume. This is what is used in the computation of RSI and MFI. Okay, it's essentially that. So again, not saying we're dumping. It's a good place to short if you're a trader. It's a good place to swing trade. You know, do a high leverage stop loss up here, make a quick buck, buy back here. You know, it's a typical place where a trader would short. Okay?
No financial advice, of course.
No financial advice, of course. Yes. Okay,
especially
but keep your eyes on this.
Especially not the high leverage bit. Hey, Bilo.
Yeah, I'm just saying what a lot of traders would do. So keep your eyes on this. Okay, this is a point where there are, you know, good chances of a rejection and coming back to at least revisit this line. Not a big deal. You know what? If you're a holder of Ethereum, it's nothing to worry about. You know, you could visit this line. Worst case scenario, the target of the bearish wedge is you know, somewhere around 3,600. You could say it's a lot of money. Yes, it's a lot of money, but there's no certainty. So I'm not telling you go sell your Ethereum because it could do very easily. It could do something like it could do something like this. It could do something like this, like this, like this, and it can break out. Of course, it can also go to the opposite direction and break down. Okay. All I'm saying is trading is about waiting. Trading is about confirmation. It's not about a crystal ball. I can't foresee the future. I can look at the signs. I can start to, you know, have a few, probabilities that, okay, there's high probability or low probability of something happening, and I can act accordingly. And then how do you limit your losses? How do you limit your risk? Is using stop losses. So if you were to enter a short here, well, what's the logical place to put your stop loss? You're going to put a stop loss, you know, not right near the line because you may have a quick up. You'll put it a bit higher and you'll take profits, right away because it can wick down, wick back up, especially at a time where everything is so bullish. You have a bullish train and there's no stopping it sometimes. So, you know, it's just something to keep an eye on, guys. Okay. The next thing I'd like to talk about is Solana. So Solana today, so let's start actually. Solana yesterday went and flipped Cardano's market cap. So now Solana overtook Cardano. And today, barely an hour ago, Solana overtook USDT, which is unbelievable considering that Solana was $3.
It's been less than that. It was $1.50 around the turn of the year. In fact, I'm pretty sure on the 1st of January it was $1.50.
Yeah. So
is that really, when you bought a massive bag of it, Pumps?
Unfortunately, not.
Me neither.
So guys, Solana, I mean, it's just one of those projects that it's got a lot going for it. Okay, there's a lot of adoption. There's the speed. The ecosystem is huge for something this young. It went from relatively unknown, and you know what, relatively is not a strong enough word. It was unknown a year ago. Nobody knew what Solana was a year ago. To where it is today, and with the ecosystems being built on top of it, layer 2s being built on top of it, very soon EVM compatibility being on top of it, it's a huge, huge project. And it's just barely 8x away from the market cap of Ethereum. It came out of nowhere and it's just 8x away. You think about it, I mean, what's 8x? It's nothing. We've seen projects and coins that we trade on a daily basis do 20, 30x just in the past few months. So 8x is nothing. It's nothing.
I love the way that you say that so nonchalantly, and it's like people in stocks and shares dream of that happening over their lifetime.
It's true, but then just to be fair and to be, you know, to be fair, the opposite can happen too. You can have you can buy a project and end up having 0.1x in a few days too. So this is crypto. It's very volatile. But with coins like this, with projects like Solana, you know, a lot of people look at their portfolios every day. And you know what? We all look at our portfolios every day. And it's a good thing to see what's happening. But then there are blue chip projects, guys. Ethereum is blue chip. Bitcoin is blue chip. Now Solana, it's been for me blue chip for a while. But I don't look at them. I don't care. Even if it goes down, it went away. It was not long ago. It was at 180, not long before that. In October, guys, it was $139, October the 12th. Okay? It doesn't matter because you know a project like Solana with the ecosystem, with the amount of projects building on it, you know it's going to go far. So my advice, and this is financial advice, blue chip projects, you just buy them. If you're a trader and you want to sit in front of a screen all day and look at positions and buy and sell, go for it. Have fun. You'll win some, you'll lose some. But long term, you cannot get hurt holding projects like Solana.
Can I just jump in here very quickly?
Of course.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, Solana for me has been the sort of sneaky success story of the year. I didn't see it coming. I bought in at around about $100. I wish I'd bought more. But I know this is a trading group, but I think it's worth saying that there's the Solana conference starting next week in Lisbon. Yeah. And I personally have tripled my Solana holdings today, in fact, ahead of that, because I think that we are going to see quite a significant Solana pump. I'd be interested in what you guys think.
Definitely, Harry. Look, this is like I started off the stream. Okay, Elliott Waves. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a small 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because look, this is where Solana started. Okay, and I didn't prepare it for today, but I'll prepare it for next time. I'll do a major 1, 2, Elliott Wave cycle from when Solana was 0 to where it is today. We'll make some future projections, but just think for a few minutes in terms of market cap, okay? Do you think that it's fair to compare a project like Solana and its capabilities and its capacities and what it can do in its future to Ethereum?
Absolutely.
Can we say it's fair to compare?
not only is it fair, but actually I've heard
It's faster.
Raoul Paul talk about the fact that the Solana chart currently is basically pretty much identically mirroring what Ethereum was doing at this stage of Ethereum's life cycle.
Yeah, I saw that too. It's fascinating.
So if we can agree that it's fair to just compare, not say it's better, you know what, just it's about the same. It's currently sitting 8x away from where Solana is right now. So if you believe that Solana, from an FA perspective, can one day reach Ethereum's market cap of today, this is not assuming what Ethereum is going to continue. Ethereum is going to continue going up. Let's freeze market cap of Ethereum today. We're 8x away. I mean, if that doesn't make you bullish, I don't know what will. Especially if you believe in Solana's FA and what it's doing and what it can do. I mean, it's just that simple. Forget the chart, forget the TA, forget the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5s. Forget it.
Exactly. Let's look at FA, and also let's consider exponentiality. I mean, this is probably going to move faster than Ethereum did from 2017 to today. You know, we're probably looking at a 12 month. You know, I would not be surprised to see Solana 4 digits within the next 3 or 4 months.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And you know what the main reason is? Speed. But what else, guys? It's a 3-letter word. Gas. People are sick and tired of spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on gas for simple transactions. People are just fed up.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make sense that if you want to go buy an NFT, or if you want to swap a coin that you have in your MetaMask that you could do nothing with, you have $50 of USDT in there and you want to get it out, it costs you $100. You might as well burn the $50. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And they've been talking about it for years. We're going to fix it. It's not getting fixed. Layer 2s are going to fix it. Synthetics are going to fix it. And maybe they'll build on top of Ethereum to fix it. But at the end of the day, it's not Ethereum that's fixing it. And that alone is going to make people migrate from Ethereum to projects like Solana, to projects like Cadena, to projects like Moonriver, to all these solutions that are leveraging, and Solana is about to leverage EVM technology, but solutions that are leveraging EVM technology, but on different, faster, cheaper chains. And that's what we're going to see.
I agree. Can I just throw a question in?
Sure.
Because this is what rattles around my head at the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
You're absolutely right. We've all experienced, you know, and we waited for the London fork, and we waited for the upgrade. And my personal experience of Ethereum is just it's got more and more and more expensive. And I've got tokens in my MetaMask that it just doesn't make sense for me to trade. So why, therefore, should we not sell all our Ethereum right now and plow it into Solarium, or plow it into, I don't know, eGold or Matic or these layer ones that we know have delivered cheaper, faster solutions? What is it about Ethereum that is going to keep its value?
So it will always keep its value because it's a grandfather chain. It's the first smart contract chain. It's got a lot of adoption. A lot of devs, even with the problems Ethereum have, still prefer building on Ethereum for security, for stability, for whatever you want to call it, knowing that the gas fees are inhibitive and will turn people off. They still do it. Only because they still believe that one day, and I believe it too, it's going to happen, they will fix the problem. But in the meantime, this problem is allowing projects like Solana to get to where they are today. Because if Ethereum didn't have that problem, I don't think Solana and other projects would be as far ahead today as they are. They have Ethereum to thank for it. I mean, it's really that. It's that simple. So I don't think Ethereum.
So you're saying really that the value in Ethereum is its heritage, is the fact that there is a big enough consensus that sooner or later they'll bring costs down, and it has that first mover advantage, I guess.
You know, the problem with bringing costs down is if I've been paying you to do your job for the past 10 years, $100 an hour, and then I come and I say, well, from now on, I'm just going to pay you 5. It's a problem. And that's the problem. Okay. They will lose devs and they will lose miners to other more profitable chains.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Why don't we sell our Ethereum now then?
Because there's going to be solutions. They have to fix it, and they're not going to.
If I may, as a maybe a different analogy to this, to sort of pinpoint this fight between two giants, I suppose, make a comparison with Microsoft and Apple. Who was first? Well, that's a question I don't actually know the answer to, but one of them was first and the other one adopted the ideas of the other. They're both still big firms. One of them got a little bloated, the other one is still remaining iconic in their ideas, yet they're still both very big. Linux may, in other terms, have things that Windows doesn't have, yet Windows is still the thing that we always use. Sure, it has had its, downsides with, say, Windows Vista wasn't exactly amazing, but then Windows 7 came and everything was fine again.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to jump in quickly. I think that's a really interesting analogy, and I think it's not applied enough to crypto, how the internet grew. For me, the difference is that we are moving at such an exponentially faster rate that people are able to make choices quicker than when we were choosing between Microsoft and Apple.
Absolutely. But then again, if you were to compare this with the early days of the internet, there was a lot of startups that were promising amazing things.
Yeah.
And at those times as well, there was a lot of newcomers on the floor that you could all put your money into and think like this is going to be the one. I think that, yes, we're in a space where we're moving even faster than that. But in the end, we're looking at that space, which is also why, from an FA perspective, why not both? Why not Solana and Ethereum? Ethereum eventually is going to catch up with its gas fees. It'll just take a little bit longer. And as long as it can retain its customers throughout that evolvement, throughout that evolving, then it'll just be like Microsoft or like Apple, because they have kept their customers, they have kept their user base in this case, and they have surpassed the problems that bugged them.
Yeah.
For Solana, it's a matter of building that user base.
It's been a blessing for each.
Ethereum is not going away. Okay, Ethereum is going to continue, and it's going to become stronger, and it's going to become better. But its weaknesses have allowed for Solana and other projects to advance the way they have. That's all it is. Definitely, Ethereum is going to continue on. It's going to resolve its problems. It's going to be painful because it's hard. Like I said, it's the main analogy I think here is it's hard to tell someone who's been paid $100 an hour for 10 years that they have to now accept being paid, $1 an hour, for example.
Can I just add something?
Of course.
Lewis, he's sending me private messages. I think he's thinking that he's actually typing to the group, but it's coming just to me only.
Oh, yeah?
So he put selling F, lol, and he's not really happy that people are mentioning selling F. The F man is here.
Or even ETH.
Yeah, he's saying 95% of all chat devs building on ETH. I'm not convinced, and I don't think a deep dive will prove that right.
Anyway, listen. Again, Ethereum not going anywhere. It's going to continue to grow. It's definitely going to continue to grow. It's going to have some issues to resolve. It has the issues to resolve. They're working on these issues. They admit self-admittedly that they have this issue with the gases. They're working on it. In the meantime, and until they resolve it, it's going to allow for the expansion of other chains. That's the only message that I have. In the meantime, the other thing is that just consider, forget the chart, forget the wave count, forget TA. You're 8x away from Ethereum's value today. Okay, so Ethereum is going to continue to grow. So if you freeze the price of Solana today, and Ethereum gets, grows more, well, we're 10x away. Or if do the opposite, you're 8x away. So it's a no-brainer, guys. I mean, sorry, I know we have to say no financial advice. I'll tell you, for me, it's a no-brainer to buy and hold Solana. even at these prices. And sometimes the right time to buy is when the prices reach new thresholds, because it just shows that it's here to stay, and it's not a temporary thing. Okay, it's not a quick pump and dump and it's over. We're making higher highs. There's more adoption, more projects being built on it, and it solves definite concurrent problems that we have in crypto, which is gas fees for now. So that's my my take on Ethereum, on Solana and Ethereum. Okay, we're going to go to Kusama next.
Sorry, Bilo. It actually
Yeah, go.
surprises me that Uniswap haven't branched out to different networks like Solana.
Yeah. Well,
It really
I think
does.
their whole back end is built on ERC20. So I'm sure maybe one day they'll figure that, you know what, we should make a change. We'll see. But there's so many DEXs right now that it's like, do you really want to start competing with Radium or what's the other one? Serum, or I mean, I don't know. They might. It's like, do you want to start competing when you're the DEX to go to for Ethereum? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Kusama, guys, wow. It's been one of my favorite projects for a long time. We made an all-time high before the May dump. Went up as high as 625. We had our ABC correction. We had our accumulation channel here, and this was the start of a new wave. This is wave 1. This is wave 2. Wave 3 could end here. We can have a retraction and make it up to wave 5. But sometimes you can have what's called an extended wave. And the reason why I say we might have an extended wave is because wave 1 is pretty high. So if this is wave 1, wave 3 cannot end here because it would be shorter than wave 1. And that's one of the no-nos, or not a no-no, it's a flag for Elliott Waves, because wave 5 would have to be shorter than wave 3 to not invalidate everything. Wave 3 can never be the shortest wave. So I'm predicting that wave 3 is going to end here at 2.618. It also happens to be the target of this inverse head and shoulders that we've been keeping eyes on since September, or even before. If you go back and look at the TA channel, we've been identifying this inverse head and shoulders for a while, and we nicely broke out of it here, and looks pretty bullish to me right now as a daily. We have a wick to the bottom, and we're going up, and we're going to continue going up, in my opinion. And we are going to be seeing these levels not very far from here. Now, what's also interesting is that you have a lot of Kusama that is locked away because of the Kusama parachain auction. So the supply of Kusama is reduced due to the parachain auctions, and will be reduced for at least another, I don't know, the first parachain auctions were, I think it was in August, if I'm not mistaken. So 48 weeks from August is at a minimum. So yeah, Kusama is going to continue to do very well. It's I'm quite bullish on Kusama, and this is the target for wave 3. We'll have a retracement continue up to wave 5. We can analyze this further, but I have a lot of charts to go through, and I just wanted to share the view on Kusama. Anybody have any questions on Kusama? Okay, we'll move on to DOT. DOT, I mean, again, wow, right?
Oh, very nice.
We've been talking about DOT for a while. I think it's been a couple of months. We bring up the parachain auctions during these live market overviews. So guys, is anybody here unaware of what the parachain auctions are? Because we can give you a very quick rundown. Anybody here not aware about parachain auctions and what they are? Okay, so we'll assume everybody knows what the parachain auctions are. So with the parachain auctions, there will come some demand for some buying pressure, because people want to stake, or not stake in this case, but lock their DOT tokens with the projects they support. Everybody saw what happened during the Kusama parachain auctions. People locked away their Kusamas with different projects. Some locked away with Karura, some locked away with Moonriver, some locked away with Kilt. Doesn't really matter where you locked away. What everybody noticed after the fact is Moonriver. And why? It's because Moonriver gave you 14 Moonrivers for each Kusama you put away. Nobody knew what the rewards were going to be. And even if they did, they didn't know what the price of Moonriver was going to be. So you could say, I'm getting 14 Moonrivers, But if Moon River was $5-6, big deal. Well, Moon River ended up hitting $500. So imagine you put away, I don't know, 50 Kusamas at an average cost of whatever you bought Kusama. Let's say you spent, doesn't matter. Let's say you spent $400 on Kusama. Okay. So you put away 50 times 40 is $20,000, right? You put away $20,000 worth of Kusama. You didn't lose that Kusama, right? That Kusama is still yours. It's just locked. You get it back in 48 weeks. If you got 14 dots back, not dots, 14 Moon Rivers back, 50 times 14 is 700 Moon Rivers multiplied by the all-time high, which we're going to reapproach and we're going to, in my opinion, go above, and we'll get into that. Multiply that by 500. Guys, for your $20,000 lock of Kusamas, you got back $350,000 in tokens for free. It's insane. It's like
insane. DJ Town, it's insane.
It's unparalleled. Okay. Now, nobody could have predicted this. I mean, maybe some people say I knew. You know what? I didn't know. I wish I did. If I knew, I did put some Kusamas into Moon River. Very little bit. I spread it around. I wish I put more. Hindsight is 20/20. But I mean, it's unparalleled. $20,000, not even given away, not even spent, just locked for 1 year, 48 weeks on a project you know is not going, it's not going to go belly up. And you get back $350,000 at a minimum, because we're going to go back above the all-time high. And we'll get into the chart later. So now everybody's got their eyes on Moonbeam. The thing is, okay, and I'm not discouraging anyone at all from putting their dots into Moonbeam. I'm not discouraging. I'm going to put dot into Moonbeam, okay? But because everybody knows what happened with Moon River, the way that these crowd loans and the rewards work is what you get as a reward and the amount of tokens is a percentage of the total that's put into the pot. The more people that put money or dot into the Moonbeam crowd loan, the less your share is going to be, not if, when they win a crowd loan. They will win a spot. There's no doubt they're going to win a parachain. The thing is, everybody's going to be putting money on Moonbeam because they want a repeat of Moon River. Again, I'm not discouraging anyone. I will be doing the same. But just keep your expectations realistic. They will not be, there's not going to be a repeat of Moon River. Number one, Moon River had 0 private sales. We know that Moonbeam had some private sales and private allocations. Okay, very hard to get, but there were some nonetheless. The other reason is what I just stated is because everybody wants a repeat, more investment or more dot tokens are going to get locked up in Moonbeam. So the percentage share that you will get by locking up your tokens will be smaller because there's a lot more people that did the same thing you did. Third reason is the tokenomics. The tokenomics for Moonbeam and the tokenomics for Moon River are so different. 1 billion tokens, I think it is, versus 10 million. Or it's a 10x difference in number of tokens. I don't remember now offhand exactly what it is. But again, guys, not to discourage you, back it. I'm backing it, being very upfront. I will back it. All I'm asking you to do is manage your expectations and look at other potential projects to invest in. There are a lot of other good ones. There's Kilt, there's Akala, there's a lot. Okay, and I can just point you to the website where you can find out all this information. It's all there. Parachains.info, very good website. Put it up, put it as your favorites. All your information is there. This shows you what happened during the KSM. Here it is, 14 plus Moon River per KSM token. So the reward per KSM, each KSM lock was $4,229 based on today's price. It was higher at the all-time high, but it doesn't matter. Polkadot, first auctions, November 11th to November 18th. Here are the contenders, guys. Akala, Astar, Centrifuge, Equilibrium, Neptune, Moonbeam, and Parallel. Definitely, see, the rewards to be determined. Nobody knows what the rewards are yet, but once they do find out, it's not really going to matter because at the end of the day, the reward you get is going to be a percentage of the total dot allocated to the project. You're sharing a maximum reward. It's not an infinite reward, right? So the ones that definitely will get attention is Akala and Moonbeam. I think Centrifuge will get attention. Equilibrium will get attention, and that's just one auction. There's going to be several auctions. So remember, guys, first auction November 11th. Been telling you for a while, if you intend on participating, make sure you unlock your dots if they're locked. If they're still locked, guys, it's 28 days to unlock dot if you're in hard staking. So you're gonna have to buy other dot if you want to participate if your dots are still locked. If your dots are unlocked, you can participate through exchanges. You can definitely do it. However, when you do it through an exchange, and I don't want to get into the thing of not your keys, not your wallet, you'll still get rewards. Okay, you'll get the rewards, but you'll be barred from other programs. There are other programs where sometimes if you participated in the parachain auctions, you qualify for other airdrops and other rewards if you had your coins in a private wallet. So I'm not saying this will happen here, but you are reducing your chances of getting other airdrops if you're going through an exchange. Now, you could say, I have time. It's only November 11th. Today is November the 3rd. Yes, true. But you've all seen it happen. At least I've seen it happen where exchanges start to have technical difficulties. How convenient when everybody wants to start moving things off of an exchange. Crowd loads are coming up. There is going to be an expectation that DOT, in this case, is going to start going off of exchanges because a lot of people still want to do it through their private wallets. There might be some technical difficulties, wink, wink, at the exchange level. So do it sooner than later if your intention is to participate through your private wallet. Nothing wrong with doing it on an exchange. It's simpler, it's easier. If you don't want to go through, the whole process, and there is a process to go through, and you're going to be extra careful. And if you put the wrong wallet, and you could really screw it up if you don't know what you're doing. It's all explained on this website, guys. Parachains.info, excellent website. All the info you need is there. Just pay attention, and if you want to do it by yourself, get your dots off of the exchange sooner than later. So DOT, what we were saying earlier is that why we thought DOT was going to go up was, obvious reasons, as people want to buy up DOT so they can participate in the parachain auctions, especially after they saw what happened in the Kusama parachain auctions. That's one reason to buy up DOT. The other reason to buy up DOT is people that want to swing DOT. And we saw this happen here. So we started to see this upside movement, and then boom, we dumped again. But these are people that have no interest in investing in the parachain auctions. We saw this with Kusama as well. People that bought DOT knowing there would be buying pressure so they can swing trade it, sell it, buy it up again. So along the way, there's going to be ups and downs. Again, DOT, long-term hold for me and many others, rightfully so. It is part of the future of crypto. It has a big place in crypto. Will revolutionize a lot of things. A lot of projects building on Polkadot, on Kusama, and interchangeability between Kusama and DOT. And we'll get into the layer 1 or 1.5. I'm not quite sure why they call them 1.5, but Moonriver and how that works, which is built on top of Kusama, and Moonbeam, which is built on top of DOT, leveraging EVM technology. So DOT has nowhere to go but up. And when all this DOT is going to be locked away for 2 years, by the way, guys, Kusama parachain auctions, the Kusama was locked away for 48 weeks. In this case, it's 2 years. Does that concern you?
Bilo, can I ask
Sure.
a question? I participated in the Kusama crowd loans. I have no intention of doing the same in the Polkadot, just because I don't have enough Polkadot. But my strategy is to sell at the absolute top that I can find in this parachain hysteria. What kind of sell price would you target for my DOT? Given that I will attempt to buy back lower, but where do you think it can get to in this in the next couple of weeks or 3 weeks across this parachain height?
My next target is here. And this is a chart that's been drawn for over, at least 2-3 weeks, okay? Target hasn't changed. It's still around here. We will see a retracement. The retracement because of Elliott Wave theory, I can tell you that, forget the location, the retracement is going to look more like this. It's going to be a drawn-out retracement. The reason is, in Elliott Wave theory, if wave 2 was quick and short, wave 4 will be shallow and long. So we're going to reach in my opinion, wave 3 is going to be around $62, $63. And then we're gonna kind of like, what's the word? We're going to range, okay, for lack of a better. It's not ranging because we're going to go down a little bit, but it's not going to be a sharp decline. And then it's going to continue on up, okay? So in reality, something like this. So ultimately, my target for this year is going to be about $80 as a minimum for DOT. And the fact that you're going to have a shitload of DOT tokens locked away for 2 years, scarcity is going to drive demand. Okay, because it's even more scarce. It's going to be more scarce than Kusama because people are expecting the results they saw in the Kusama parachain auctions. People are looking to make a lot of money in rewards, so there will be a lot of DOT locked away. And the fact that it's locked away for 2 years means DOT will be scarce.
Yeah.
Relatively
I
speaking.
mean, if I could, I would actually. One of my ambitions is to make Polkadot one of my biggest bags over the next 5 years. But you're saying $63 is a target to sell, look to reaccumulate at about 60, and then we're going to go up from there.
But tell me something. Is it worth it for you to sell at 63 and possibly buy at 60? What if I'm wrong? What if 3 is actually here and then 4 is actually here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it really worth it? I don't think it's worth it. I personally.
If I want to take profits this year, would you suggest waiting into December?
I would wait until
December.
I would wait until December.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Moon River. Sorry, just auto. So we have this kind of like similar pattern across the charts. We have inverse head and shoulders a bit everywhere. Why the hell? What's going on? Daily.
Can I ask another question about DOT later?
Hold on, Pumpy.
Yes, mate.
What's going on?
Just pull your chart over. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, who had a question? Thanks, Pumpy.
I had another question about DOT, but you can do that after Moon River because it's more about bear market after this than what we are doing right now. So we can do that later.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So, so here's the all-time high for Moon River, about $500 in September. Guys, you understand that Moon River got launched in August, okay? It got launched out of nowhere in August and then hit $500 in September. Nobody is, to be too surprised about a correction, a decent correction. So we went from $500 all the way down to $220, $200, doesn't really matter. So here's our ABC. And then we have a new wave count. We start a new wave count here. Okay, so 1, 2. Here's my target for wave 3, okay, from earlier. And now we've corrected to wave 4. And now we're about to start wave 5. And my target for wave 5 is, very simply speaking, the inverse head and shoulder target. So we're at $600. It's just simple. And this candle here is, we're on the daily. It has another hour and 46 minutes to go. We'll see what happens, but I like the volume profile. It's higher than the previous days, getting higher, at least from the previous days red candle. I don't know what the indicators show. Let's just take a quick look at the indicators. Pumpy, is this what does that mean? Is that a buy or is that it's about to change?
No, that's a buy.
That's a buy. Okay.
We have
a buy.
Momentum is swinging to the positive.
Okay, so we have a positive buy signal on market cipher. This is the previous high, which is wave B. We want to get above this. We're close. It's just looking really, really bullish, guys. And just from a fundamental analysis perspective, okay? So Moon River is built on top of Kusama, right? And Moonbeam, which is the mothership, is built on top of Polkadot. So Moon River is the canary network of Moonbeam, okay? So Moonbeam is about to get launched, with a parachain, hopefully soon. I think it'll be one of the first parachains to win a slot. And at the end of the year, aside from everything else you're hearing, there's something really cool coming. There's going to be a bridge between Moonbeam and Moonriver. So anything that's deployed on Moonbeam can be deployed on Moonriver, and anything deployed on Moonriver can be deployed on Moonbeam. This is aside from the fact that it's leveraging Ethereum EVM interoperability. So you can go onto Ethereum. You know how you can store your Moonriver tokens on MetaMask? Okay, and other projects you can't. Well, it's not a big deal, but you're going to be able to not only store your tokens on MetaMask, you'll be able to, through the EVM capability, you'll be able to actually transfer your tokens from Ethereum to Moonbeam to Moonriver and back, and vice versa. Okay, then we have SushiSwap that just launched on Moonriver. That's huge. There was declared last week or the week before, I think $400 million, a fund of $400 million coming out of Moonriver as rewards for projects to innovate. I mean, it's just got a lot going for it. And if you look for a project that started just in August, go on Moonriver's website and see how many DEXs, how many projects are already building on top of it. It's just phenomenal. Okay. And the hype that it caused by making a lot of people rich overnight, people that had no clue what they were about to get, and that they just lucky, they had tokens, they had KSM tokens, they put them away. And I gave the example earlier of, someone that had, X amount of tokens, and how they, at $20,000 value, ended up giving them on top of the $20,000, $30,000, $350,000 in value. Well, imagine those that had $100 value, $100,000 value. I mean, it's just, it's a lot of hype, a big shill team for Moonriver, and we are in crypto, and shilling, whether you like it or not, it has an impact. So there's a big shill army. There's the Moverment army. And aside from that, there's a lot of engagement from the community, and there's a lot of projects looking to build on top of it. So it's going just to continue going up, and it's still, market cap wise, still very cheap. You look at the price, you say, shit, it's expensive. Yes, it is expensive relative to what it was just a few months ago, but the market cap is still low, and the tokenomics are pretty nice. Anyway, that's all I have about Moonriver. The next chart I want to go to is Kadena. Kadena looks
messy.
Sorry guys,
It looks messy.
it looks messy, but so remember how I was telling you earlier that in Elliott Wave theory, impulse waves, which is 1, 3, and 5, are a lot easier to predict than corrections. So this is an example that I wanted to show you. This here, all this starting from here and ending here, is a correction, and it gets very, very complicated. Okay, and that's why Harry, when I was telling you earlier, I don't know if it's worth it for you when you're looking at selling DOT and then buying it again. Corrections are very complicated, and sometimes in Elliott Wave theory, and I shouldn't say in Elliott Wave theory, in markets, okay? But Elliott Wave theory can help us predict. And you can never predict this until all this has happened, because you could very easily say A, B, C, and now we're going up. But look what happened after that. This here is called a triple correction, okay? And when it was here, I was able to, not because I'm a genius, but just because I was able to apply the rules of Elliott Wave theory. And I saw that we're not going to continue up for several reasons. I was able to, using Elliott Wave theory, which is so beneficial if you can follow the rules and it works. And I can't say it always works, but I was able to say this here has to be the bottom. And in this case, it's a WXYXZ correction instead of an ABC. So I could never have predicted this here. No way. I had to wait for all this to happen. I was thinking it was going to go up here. This was this is where we're done. We're going to continue up. But nope, we continued back down. And after I saw this, I realized that there was going to be not a simple ABC correction, but a WXYXZ correction. And I got into the whole, the workup of that. And why am I telling you this? I'm just telling you this again to tell you, to kind of re-emphasize the point I made earlier. Nobody can say this is exactly how it's going to go. Okay. So we're here. I thought it's done and we're moving back up. Look how far we went back down. From here at $7, we went back down to $5.60. And when I saw that this here dropped is where I said it's not over. But I could never have said this when we were here. Just a few days ago, before this happened, I could have never predicted that. Never, impossible. I wouldn't be able to predict it. So on a project that is going to continue to go up, and if you believe in the FA, you believe in its tokenomics, you believe in what it's doing and its long-term growth potential, why take a chance? Why take a chance to swing it here? If, let's say, in this case, it went down. Let's say we had the opposite case when it could have gone in the opposite direction. So for me personally, I won't swing a project I very strongly believe in its future. A lot of people will disagree with me. I know very good people, much better traders than me, or people that know FA a lot more than me that will swing. Me personally, if it's a project I'm holding, I'm just holding it. Me, that's my strategy. Doesn't mean it's the right strategy. Doesn't mean that I could maybe do better because I could have sold here, bought here, especially after I did say, and you can look at the charts, I posted, we're going to go down to this level. Okay. And there's a reason why it was this level. But even with this, I didn't think I wanted to take the chance and swing it because I believe in it long term. I don't want to break my head. And sometimes when you're holding a blue chip, I mean, I don't know, maybe you hold Apple, maybe you hold Tesla, maybe you hold Google. Even if you're a trader, you might not want to trade it because long term, it's a blue chip. It's a long-term hold. I believe in long-term holds on certain coins, and these are some of these coins.
And this is coming from a trader.
Yeah. So it's not wrong, guys. It's not wrong to hold. And I learned this a bit the hard way because I tried to always take advantage of trying to, find the top and find the bottom. And you know what? You get burnt sometimes more than you win. And if you're in a good project and you're in a project that has a strong foundation and a good, strong future, there's nothing wrong with holding, even through bad times. Hold on to it. It's going to eventually go back up. Don't worry about it. If you believe in the project, if you're talking about a meme coin and you're just trying to make a quick buck, well, yeah, maybe you should worry about it because it pumped today, it can dump to zero tomorrow. But this is not the case. This is a very it's a very strong, fundamentally strong project.
It's an absolutely awesome project.
It is. It really is.
Can I ask a question to a little bit ties in with what I wanted to ask earlier, but I'm going to rephrase it. What about people who have in the past, not made the amazing decision of getting into DOT early? What for people who have either a wad of cash laying around and or have surplus income that they would want to put in Sol or into DOT? What would entice them to...
What shall I buy?
Well, no, not necessarily what should I buy, but when should I buy, more so. Because in my eyes, I'm thinking, we're in a bull run right now. Why don't I just wait for the bear market to buy it at a cheaper price?
You know when the bear market's coming?
Don't know. Probably somewhere after that wave 5 of the Elliott wave that you put up for BTC.
But is that a bear market or is that a correction?
Okay, good point.
It's actually a very interesting point because
the truth of the matter is
really, really, really good question.
The truth of the matter is nobody
we
knows.
Talk about.
And whoever tells you they know and that this is going to happen, take it with a grain of salt because nobody really knows. Right. And I'm going to be the first to admit I don't know. I can tell you today based on what I'm seeing why I'm bullish. I give you the reasons.
Bilo is fine. Yeah. I'll let you know.
Listen, right, I'll tell you the truth, okay?
Yeah.
I find Bilo's knowledge absolutely wonderful, and I'm really grateful to be in this group. There's only 16 of us or whatever. I really mean that, and thanks, Pumps, for the for opening the door. You know, TA is very new to me. I'm learning.
Pumpy lets me
TA,
talk.
studying.
Pumpy lets me talk, but this is our shared knowledge.
Yeah, okay, but whatever. I'm very grateful to be here. But to answer Alex's question, you know, from my experience, I went mainly on FA. I have 15x'd my portfolio since July last year. Okay. I
Very well done.
Many more of you will laugh at that and go, God, I've 100x'd. I don't know, right? But I've 15x'd my portfolio. And that's not really through trading. That's through reading and researching about coins and then going, you know what, I would use that. I believe in it. I believe in the fundamentals, buying it and holding it.
You're 100% right. This is maybe better because you know what, most people that most investors, they look at the fundamental analysis and pay less attention to the technical analysis. Technical analysis is nice. It helps you maybe to find entry points, but do you really care whether you buy at, and I'll answer the question from Alex in the same time, okay? Do you really care if you buy Cadena at 750 or at 550 if Cadena is reaching $100? Yeah. Think of it that way. Does it make a big difference? I don't know if it does. If you believe
it doesn't,
that
and you're
it's
right,
gonna get there, and you have reasons to believe it, whether it's comparing market cap, whether it's comparing the tech, why and what it's doing. At the end of the day, if you believe it's getting to 100, what difference does it make if you buy it at 7?
I bought DOT first of all at $15. Then I bought a lot more at 45, and then I wish I bought a lot more, and then you know what I mean. But
it's not too late.
That's what Bilo's saying. You know, believe in it, research it, believe in it, buy it, hold it.
Guys, I bought by just, you know what, for the fuck of it. Okay, I wasn't a stock trader. I wasn't a trader, period, up until 2017. I'm like, Jesus Christ, everybody's making a shitload of money in Bitcoin. Everybody started to hear more about Bitcoin when it hit the 20,000. I heard about it before. People offered me, and I'm like, fuck, what is this shit? Forget it. But when it hit 20, I FOMO'd in. I remember like yesterday buying, guys, and you're gonna laugh at me, and it's okay. I bought Bitcoin Cash for $3,500, guys. Okay, I didn't know a thing about trading. I didn't know what a candle was, and I'll be honest, that's the truth of it. And I lost a lot of money because I bought the top. Okay, but then I said, okay, I want to learn now. I want to learn TA. So I spent a lot of my time learning TA and candles and physics. But you know what? And I'm not putting down TA. That's I think what I personally, amongst all my knowledge, I know TA more than I know anything else. I'm trying to learn more FA. I'm trying to learn on-chain because it's more important to have the combination than to have just one. But one thing that I learned is focus on what the potential of the project is rather than what the price of the project you're looking at is. And the potential of the project has to do very simply with one thing. That's called market cap. Market cap is what everybody should be focusing on because a project could be $300 a coin, but it is only 1 million coins versus another project that's 10 cents a coin, but there's 10 billion coins. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that's what you have to look at. So
market cap and crucially fully diluted.
Exactly, fully diluted, and not only fully diluted. Now you want to take it a step further. If it's not already fully diluted, then what's the release schedule? Is it all getting released next month? Is it getting trickling? Like for example, Cadena still has a lot of tokens that are unreleased, but the release schedule is very slow, relatively speaking. So you don't really need to worry about a dump coming from new release tokens because it's a very slow release. So you have to take all this into account. And you're
right. I mean, I'm in a coin ALBT Alliance block, and Pumps knows this because I bored him to tears with it. It's one of the best.
We complain about it a lot, but it's okay.
ALBT, guys, it's one of the best I think you can buy, but in line with what you were saying, the vesting period and the unlock period means that the price can never really have a chance to fly, because just when it gets there, a big chunk gets chunked, everyone takes their profits and it levels off again, So yeah, market cap, fully diluted, and vesting schedules for me, along with FA. Well, that's my strategy.
Well, it's the right strategy, Harry. You know what? What I was leading to before is that I started off thinking I need to know TA to make it, and I learned the hard way it's not enough. TA is nice, but you also need to understand the fundamental analysis. And now we have these great tools from CryptoQuant, from Glassnode that help you see and have an insight into what's going on in the market in general. And unfortunately, the stuff you get for free doesn't give you the full picture. And if there's a lag, there's a couple of day lag.
Yeah.
And it's expensive to get the full version because it's like $1,700 a month. But it's so important to read, to research. And I've been doing more of this lately because I saw that it wasn't enough. I could be maybe the best TA guy, and I'm not. I'm nowhere near it. But it will never be enough. If you want to invest long term, it's not going to be enough. If you want to get in and get out and short and long all day, if you have the kind of time where you can sit in front of a screen all day and short and long, yeah, you'll do very well. I don't have that kind of time. And personally, I'm not a computer guy. I get very restless. I can't sit and stare at a screen for more than 10 minutes at a time. It's not my style. I don't like it.
Dude, listen, whereabouts are you in the world?
I'm in Montreal, Canada.
God damn, it's so far away. We should sit down and have some dinner together, man.
Listen, I'll put on my video so you can see me. Here we go.
There you are.
You guys see me?
Yeah.
Why don't I see myself?
As always, the opposite of what I had in my head.
Well, so were you, Harry. I had you down
What
as
big
like
black eyes you have.
Harry, I had you down as like a dodgy Danny Dyer type.
Yeah, you've said that before.
Yeah.
Maybe I am, you know. I'm South London, that's for sure.
Oh shit! I still have my hat on. Hold on.
It's all right. Well, luckily nobody on YouTube can see you, so it was just the people in the meeting.
No, listen, interesting chat, and you know, great group. You know, this is the sort of shit we need to talk about. And by the way, not to dismiss TA, because as you say, Bilo, you know, whilst we're in this big, wider FA metaverse, you know, pun intended, we can still ride the fucking wave up and down, and that's how we can really, you know, maximize our profits, right?
And you know what? Speaking of metaverse, it's people are using it without really. It's the future, guys. Like when Facebook changes its name to Meta.
Hello.
I mean, you know what I mean? And it's like everything today. You know these like all these like NFTs that we're spending money on, and it's like fuck, it's not going up in value. They are going to go up in value eventually. You know, CryptoPunks that are selling for millions of dollars today, worth shit in 2017. So
yeah, you could have picked them up for pennies.
Yeah.
Well, you know, CS members, I've been promoting a NFT drop coming up on Saturday, which I think's an absolute killer.
Show us which one.
Well, I'll repost it on CS.
Okay. Bilo, it's the one that I sent you yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars.
The mint pass, is it?
Yeah. Drop. It's Star Wars helmets.
Nice. Okay.
Big. Huge.
That current candle that we're looking at on KDA looks very much like that last daily candle on Bitcoin. Currently, nice long tail, small body.
Jeez.
Not the daily candle, the candle that we were looking at just then.
The 1 hour candle.
Oh look, it's one of Bilo's miniature charts. Some people grow bonsai plants. Bilo.
Last thing I want to say, guys.
Really small charts.
Last thing I want to say. We had an AMA with Secret Network. I think it was 2 weeks ago, and so let's just take a look at the Secret chart, okay?
Just quickly, by the way, for KDA, that was a new all-time high today. Just so you guys know.
Yee.
Well, it makes me happy.
A little bit more enthusiasm, thank you.
I'm grateful.
A lot of new all-time highs happening.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So Secret Network, very bullish chart. Okay, so just to let you guys know, okay, we had an AMA with them, and I learned this during the AMA. Okay, since I'm the one that hosts the AMA, I get to research the project and get to learn things about the project. So, if you hold secret tokens, get them out of an exchange, put them in a private wallet. The wallet that's supported is Kepler, and you can stake directly on the wallet. And if you stake before November 6th, you qualify for a Scheiden Network airdrop. Okay, it's that simple. So if you own Secret, or if you want to buy Secret, because there's a lot of stuff going on, just watch or go back and Google Crypto Society Medium, read up on the AMA. It was a very interesting AMA. One of the things you'll learn is that if you stake your Secret tokens, you will get an airdrop as of November 6th. The snapshot will be taken after November 6th. So you have a bit of
also crypto banter. We're talking about this network today, Secret. Apparently, Quentin Tarantino's chosen it as the network to release 6 NFTs of his scripts, which I'd fucking kill for. But what's the floor price for that? 50, 100 ETH? I mean, where's that going to start? But it's happening on Secret.
So that's it for me, guys. If anybody has any quick questions, please feel free to ask. Other than that, I do have to get going soon. But yeah.
No, you're not allowed to go. This is my show. We're holding you ransom. Please could you check out LYXE, which Harry will also be grateful for, I'm sure.
Sure. It's one coin I wish I kept.
One point I wish I'd listened to Harry about.
Oh man, I'm still a big holder, but I really believe these guys, because shall I tell you what? I think they've struck the proper deal with Nike, and that's where the money is.
Yeah, guys, it's at $5. I get in, it's at $5 right now.
You say that about Nike, and actually I saw something earlier about Nike applying for a patent for downloadable wearables. 16
patents
for the metaverse.
Yes,
but indeed. I think they're going to do it through Luxo.
So guys, it's at $5 if you want to buy. It's a great price right now.
No, it's not.
No way. No, you're looking at...
I know.
It's such a shame that it's not.
Hold on. Is DJ still on with us?
I am, yeah.
DJ, just to make you happy, because I know this will make you happy, okay?
Are we talking rounded bottoms?
No. I'll make you very happy. I owned Luxor here, and I sold it here.
Bilo, listen.
Just to
Harry,
DJ.
Harry has been shilling Luxo to me since before that point that you just said that you had it.
I bought the I bought the ICO.
Can I tell you the worst thing, Bilo?
At 77 cents.
Yeah.
Right, the worst thing, Bilo, is that because Harry basically told me that he was already countless multiples up on Luxo, and at the time I was relatively fresh into crypto. I thought, well, if he's already that many X up, then I'm not bloody buying this. That's ridiculous. Why would I buy something that this guy's already up like however many, sort of 50X or whatever it was that he was up? And so I didn't buy. And at that point, do you know what? It was things like this that made me want to learn TA. And were the...
Pumps, I am telling you, man, this coin is still radically undervalued. This will be a 4-digit coin. I'm absolutely certain of it. I mean, I'm not talking next month, or it's not this run.
Why not?
Hold this for 5 years and it's a 4-digit coin.
Yeah, but I could invest in Shiba and have like a 20X in the next 20 minutes.
Come on, man. To be a millionaire, it's what is it now? 40? I mean, come on. It's a no-brainer for me.
The target
Read about the founder. The guy created ERC20. I mean, he's a genius. This is the last of the original Cardano Ethereum crew. You know, you've had Charles make Cardano, you've had Gavin make Polkadot, Vitalik. This is the last, and it's Fabian Vogensteller who created ERC20 all the way.
Good
anyway,
point.
I'm rambling. That's
No, it's good.
I
It's
shill
good
it. I can't
information.
stop
Very-
shilling it.
It's good for people to know. It's very good
Very
for
good.
people to know. Thank you, Harry. You are more than welcome to join in with your wisdom of projects, because both me and Bilo know that you actually have quite a good FA background and know what you're talking about when you invest in a project.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd be happy to have you come back every week. Please do.
Absolutely.
Great group. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Pleasure, bro. Alex, did you have something? Sorry, I thought you said you wanted to ask a question at one point.
Yeah, that was on the. Well, I kind of weaved it into my earlier question, so that one has been answered. Yeah.
Okay.
Still, I'm not sure about what I will do, but I am taking the information with me.
Look, definitely the bull run at one point will either slow down and we're going to have a retracement. Okay, a bear market what is a bear market? Because we've seen bear markets in the past. Okay, so
let me give you a different perspective. I started this whole journey in February 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I started with this weird ass coin that nobody really knows about. And I just thought, wow, that's good API on that coin. I'll just dunk some money in there and see how it goes. Whoa, this actually worked, and dunk some more money into it. And then I learned that there was a whole lot more to this world. And I came into contact with these potatoes called CS, and well, the rest of the story is history. But hey, so to me, my sort of, my perspective on this whole crypto world is very short. And I have started in a bear market where I bought a coin for $1 that now sits at $5, and I'm like, wow, I'd like to do that again. Why would I buy DOT at $60 if it will go back to 20 maybe in a bear market next year? Who knows? It's always 1 year of bull run and then 3 years of bear market, right?
What was the coin? February 2020. What did you buy?
PCX.
PCX.
I am the sort of standing community manager for PCX.
And is that all you hold?
No, I have since very much diversified, but it's where I started.
I mean, if you got in February 2020, you must be doing very well by now, no?
Well, I mean, for someone my age, I am doing I'm doing, lush. Right. But I wouldn't call myself successful.
Alex is the smartest.
Have you done since February 20?
Alex is the smartest 13-year-old I know.
Boy, if I was 13, at least I'd be like the top 1% of 13-year-olds. But hey, I'm 25, so I'm nowhere near that top 1%.
Right.
Alex, where are you from?
Netherlands, sir.
Ah, okay.
I would have said Ireland.
Do you know what? I thought the same thing. That's why I asked.
Yeah, it sounds.
I have a very mixed accent. Yeah.
Which part of Germany is that?
To the one who just made the reference to Germany, I will smack your ass.
That's a little bit too graphic for the charting section of this.
He's definitely from the Netherlands then, if he's going to smack his ass.
No, but jokes aside, right?
I understand your question, because if you got in February 2020,
yeah.
you must have done. I mean, 10x at least, right? Yeah.
I think that if I mean, like that's the thing. If I take my entire portfolio, a lot of it is in things that I don't know the precise value of right now because they're ICOs or pre-sales, and that money is gone, and I consider it void. And I don't know what the value of these things is going to be. So in my head, I don't have that down. In my head, I'm still with PCX, and I put some money here and there, and I am only like, I don't know, 2.5x maybe.
Yeah.
I know that there is things. I know that there's other things out there that I have put money in that will in the future pay off. But in my
Just can't remember the
head,
keys.
Alex, could you just stop? Tell us the truth, okay? Alex owned so many PCXs when he joined, and he bought them at like 50 cents. You remember PCX reached $20? Guess who dumped on everybody? Come on, Alex, tell us the truth.
I wish I had, because then I would be sitting here telling, haha, I did a 20x, you bastards. But no, I didn't.
No, I know you didn't. Guys, just a very quick note before I end this. Just to put things into perspective, okay, in terms of what a bull market is, what a bear market is, and then what a correction is, okay? Start of Bitcoin, peak of Bitcoin, this is a bear market, okay? When you go from 20,000 to, what is this, 2,000, 3,000? That's bear market.
We hit 3,000.
Okay, so that's a bear market. This is more than a correction, okay? Then here we have COVID. Here we have COVID, right? And then from there, we have this run up to 64.
That was theoretically the start of the bull market, COVID, wasn't
it? And this here, and this here is wave 4. It's a correction. And now we're going up to wave 5.
Sorry.
Sound good. Hope you. And now we're going up to wave 5. So, I don't know, like, it's a correction, guys. A bear market could be a correction, but in this case, if you take a retracement from the beginning, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you take it from. Oh, fuck, I have this thing again. If you take it all the way to my target here, okay? Usually, a correction is going to be up to around 382. 382 happens to be around the previous all-time high, okay? So, this here, if we get into a bear market, we're looking at, what, 30% decline from, 99 to 60? So, or 100 to 60 is about, what, 35, 40%? Yeah, I mean, it's a bear market in the sense that we're going down, but at the end of the day, all it is a correction because there's no place to go but up. Bitcoin is a limited supply commodity, okay? There's not going to be more Bitcoins. When people talk about Bitcoin at 1 million, it sounds stupid, it sounds ridiculous. But when you really think about it, why not? If it's limited in supply, okay? There's nothing that is limited in supply, that is not inflationary, that is not commonly held belief that it's a rare product that does not continue to go up in value. So there is no reason to talk in terms of bear market of the likes of which we've seen here. Because the big difference between here and where we are today is that here, it was a bubble. People called it a bubble. Institutions called it a bubble. Banks, Wall Street, it was a bubble. You guys, it's like the tulip.
They laugh at us, then they fight it. Your argument, Bilo, is that we have got to a point now where
there's no turning back. There's no turning back. There's no turning back. We've gone beyond the point where you can put into question, is this thing just a bubble? Is it going to go? Is it just like a fad? It's beyond a fad. There's governments that are readjusting based on this. Central bank digital currencies. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's all blockchain. So ridiculous. You cannot compare what happened here to what's about to happen, in my opinion.
I think you're right there. There was almost no utility back then.
I gotta go, guys. This was fun. I love these sessions. I love the interactivity that we speak and we exchange opinions and ideas. And you know what? I learn a lot from your comments, and thank you for joining us. I hope you continue to do so. We'd love to grow this YouTube channel. So give us the likes, share the videos with your friends, invite them over, and thank you.
Listen, this is a great group. So be discerning. Don't invite just anyone. There's some good people in this group.
Yeah.
Also invite people like you. Invite your buddies over.
Thanks, guys. Good night. See you next week.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Thank you all very much. See you next week.
And
Thanks, guys.
That's it from us for tonight. Join us again next week, 10 p.m. CET. It'll be the same Zoom meeting address. Please, when you join, could you join muted so that we can't hear everything that's going on in the background? Obviously, someone's just joined in there. They were coughing. And earlier, we had various people joining in whatever fashion. There was some bass beats that happened, which is fine. It's not too much of an issue, but obviously it would be a little bit more streamlined as we're live to YouTube if you could join muted when you're joining the Zoom meeting. Thank you very much for your time tonight, Bilo. It's been amazing.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
And
we didn't mention this usually, but these sessions are BYOCS. Okay, bring your own cough syrup.
Brilliant.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Love you all.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.